All right, so this is it. This is the groove that you need to know if you go through Neil Peart's playing. It is in so many of their songs. As a matter of fact, I wrote down it's in Hemispheres, La Villa Strangiato, Spirit of the Radio, Red Barchetta, YYZ, Between the Wheels, Far Cry, The Anarchist. Like, that's just touching the tip of the iceberg. This is a groove that Neil brings back time and time again whenever he's needing to add some energy to a section. You need to add some power to it. All right, so this is a great groove that has power to it as well as energy. And I call it the Neil ride cymbal bell groove. It comes up so much in his playing. This is one of the two absolute must-know grooves, that and the two-handed hi-hat ride cymbal groove that I broke down in the top 3 grooves lesson on Neil's playing. So be sure and check that. Follow this series. The sheet music is down below. Download it. It is free, all right? I do that because I want you to use these tools. Again, I've said it before in the other lessons, it's really important that you don't just learn this stuff from the notation, that you listen to the music, you play along to the music, and you use the notations as a tool to dissect what's going on and to speed up the learning process, all right? And it really does speed up the learning process, but it does not replace the actual thing, right? So let's not land too far on either side of the gamut of like, man, you just got to feel it, or oh, we need to grid this up exactly how it is. Like, we don't want to get too nerdy, but we don't want to get too hippie out there, because in the middle is where you find Neil and you find his playing. So use these tools, listen to the music, play along to it, download the sheet music, let's jump on the kit and let's learn this groove. This is the groove that you have to know if you want to study Neil Peart's playing. Like, it's the one, right? Everyone knows it. I know some of you have been like, is he gonna cover it? Is he gonna go? I'm gonna cover it. And I've already talked about how many songs this appears in. So let's dive in. The example I'm gonna give you is from YYZ, about the 1:15-minute mark. And then I'm gonna also give you an example from, or a variation from La Villa Strangiato. And I may be butchering that name, but that song is gonna be at about 150 BPM, and the YYZ is gonna be about 141 BPM. So it's not that this groove is so extremely hard, although it's not easy. It's just that the tempos that he plays it at. And he really adds this groove when it needs to have like some push, some punch. Now let's get to it. I'm gonna go, if you're looking at the sheet music available, again, download that if you want to. It's in the video description and in the comments, it's a pinned comment. I'm going to look at the third measure of this groove because that's where we kind of see it normalize, and so, or the third measure of the sheet music. So what's going to happen is it's going to be essentially a paradiddle between the hands, but it's going to be on the ride cymbal bell with the right hand. So it's going to go right, left, right, right. So that's going to be the first beat on the snare and the ride cymbal. Remember, we got to have good placement of the bell hits on this, because sometimes he'll play it all bell, sometimes he plays it alternate. It just really depends on the tempo and which song. Now on beat 2, he plays 2 accented on the snare drum, the and of 2 on the ride cymbal bell. All right, now the next measure, he plays again a paradiddle between the hands, but in this one he plays the first of that paradiddle. He's going to play it on the face of the ride cymbal, so not on the ride cymbal bell. So it's going to go right, left, bell, bell. Then on 4, he's going to have 4 E and. So 4, face of the cymbal, bell of the cymbal. now we need to add the kick drum with this, okay? So the kick drum is gonna go in the first beat, it's gonna go with all of the right hands. So 1 and . In the second measure, we have it on the and of 2. In the third beat, we have it on, I think, did I say the second measure, the second beat? In the third beat, I'm sitting there thinking, did I say that? In the third beat, we're going to skip the downbeat and we're going to have it on and . So 3. And then in the last measure, it's going to be on and with that ride cymbal bell. So, or not the last measure, the last beat in beat 4. And that's going to be the whole groove for the YYZ song. Again, that's at about the 115 mark. So let's put that to a click at about let's do, why don't we do 95 BPM? And the way I would suggest you learn this is learn it really slow, set the subdivisions to 16th notes, get all the clarity in the part, and then slowly inch it up. Don't make drastic jumps like 10, 15 BPMs, make jumps by 5 BPM. So from 95 BPM to 100, to 105, to 110. And if that's too far, then go like 112, then 114, then 115, then like inch it up. Don't just jump from, oh cool, I can do it at 100 and then jump up to 141 because it's gonna be sloppy. All right, so slowly increase that tempo. That's the way to get these grooves to lay comfortably at the faster tempos that he plays them at. 1, 2, 3, 4. In that groove, there's obviously every now and then going to be a mishit on that bell where whenever you're playing and you go to do a double, you hit the face instead of the bell or the bottom part of the bell or whatever. Whenever you're moving at that tempo, it's not as noticeable. And there's many times that I think he's meaning to hit the bell every time and he just kind of misses the bell. So now if we look at the groove from La Villa, then we can see a variation of this. So let's do that. And in this one, he's going to be playing all of the notes on the ride cymbal bell. So all of the right hand notes are going to be on the ride cymbal bell. We're going to have the same pattern, but it's now going to go like this. And then he's going to add a couple of ghost notes. So we're adding a ghost note on the of 2. So it's going to go. And we're going to keep the ghost note on the E of 3. And then on 4, he's going to add a ghost note on the of 4. And then, of course, we need to add the kick drum in the same place as it was in when we learned the groove before. So. So that's just a variation, and that song's right at about it's right at about 150 BPMs. All right. So again, 141 BPM, 150 BPM. That's the hard part about this groove, is that there's a lot of moving parts, but also at those tempos, we really have to make sure that we have everything tight and together. So leave a comment. Let me know what's your favorite instance where he uses this in a song. Leave that in the comments as well. Let me know if you're liking this series. I'm trying to do more things on the channel that you guys are requesting and digging. So we just got done with the Bonham series, the John Bonham series, and now we're doing Neil series, and so we'll have several others coming along, but always let me know kind of what you like the channel, what you like on the channel, what you don't like on the channel as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Lots and lots of new content coming. Hit that notifications button. I'm going live. I'm posting things all the time, so you'll definitely want that. And hit the thumbs up button if this has helped you. Share it with somebody else you think it may help. Download the sheet music. It's down there pinned in a comment as well as in the video description. But whatever you do, I'll see you here in the next video.